don't know how good it is, because with a heavy heart, I have to say, rest in peace, Grumpy Cat. Probably the saddest thing that I've heard in a while. Poor Grumpy Cat has passed away at age 7. I will get a few good mornings out of the way. In the meantime, press F for Grumpy Cat. Runner Rage Mongoose, J Jetty, Captain Thrax, The Nightbot, Miserable Bugger, Sisu, Slacking Games, MK Thales, Twisted Smile, Crucial Bunny, Bard Stewart, Alt Centrist, Demo Man, Great Ghost, Lost Wingman, Seamus Derby, Bad Dragonite. I know, it's very sad. Didn't that happen, like, never mind. Thrax, that actually was news, like, I think this morning? It was trending on Twitter, and I'm like, why is Grumpy Cat trending? And I click on it, and immediately had a sad. But I do want to apologize for the somewhat late start again. I had to go get cigarettes, and I have my priorities totally in check. But I just wanted to make sure that it was set for 9:30 as opposed to, 9, because I wasn't going to make it to 9. But, yeah. And, yeah, the vibe this morning was kind of, I don't know, I got back from getting smokes, and I'm just like, I need music to play. And I'm looking around, and I'm just like, maybe if I look around, I can find something that has a little bit of inspiration behind it. And I have something that has fruit on it. I'm like, fruit, cherries, cherry pie, warrant, Uncle Tom's Cabin. And then I need something to go along with that. And I just thought, follow that up with some Dio era Black Sabbath, and we'll be good. Jetty says, no worries, it's been one of those weeks. I try to say, good morning, Vamp. Looking lovely this morning. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I had an Indian woman compliment my makeup today, so that made me kind of happy, because the 7-Eleven that I go to is run by Indians. William says, late as always, no wonder you can't. Oh, William, that's hurtful. I'm not sending you any turtles for a while. Am I going to be streaming this evening? Okay, Fridays are a little chaotic for me, because I do this. I go over and then I go do the Kumite, and then I do the Pro South stream at 8:30 my time. So, little chaotic. So probably won't be an evening stream over on Twitch tonight. Just because, this show, other show, wrestling show. How's the mouth? So much better. Yeah, it's been it's nearing up on the 2-week mark of since I had that bad tooth all the way back here pulled. And it's still healing, so I'm still, taking tremendous care of the mouth, but, it's healing really nicely. It doesn't hurt. It's a little sting every now and then, but that's mostly just because it's healing, so it's slightly inflamed. I just take the Motrin that I was given. It cuts it off immediately, because a lot of times pain's going to be caused by inflammation and not by anything. If the pain is caused by an infection, Trust me, because no amount of painkiller will help. Only antibiotics can help with that. I took all of the antibiotics that I was given. Every 8 hours on the 8 hour, I would take the antibiotics to stave off any kind of infection that might possibly happen. They are doing yard work now. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but oh my god. Of course they are. Thrax says she cursed me with it, the pain. Yeesh. I did nothing wrong. And I was directed towards an interesting website Wait. Oh, okay, that's South Africa. I looked at I looked at a headline over on this site. And family finds pool crashing neighbors were baboons. May 16th. A South African family who suspected rude neighbors were trespassing in their backyard pool set up a security camera that identifies the culprits. Local baboons. The Marlof Park. Oh wow, I cannot pronounce that. The homeowner said he and his wife started noticing that when they would come home from work, it appeared someone had been using their pool. We installed the camera because every time we came back from work, one could see that someone was swimming. Because our property is not fenced off, we thought at first it was our neighbors using it without permission. The man said he and his wife were surprised when the CCTV footage identified the true culprits, a group of baboons. Baboons can be troublesome to humans, but we live peacefully with our animal neighbors, and they are always welcome. We are blessed, he said. I don't know. Interesting website? Well, my. Where's your cat? Didn't you have a cat before? I have 2 cats. And one of them is staring out the back window. And another is sleeping somewhere. I have critters and black mans, and they are my babies. Uh-huh. One second, I was just sent something over on frickin' Discord. God damn it, Kraut. Hold on, I'm yelling at him in text. I have a Siamese. I heard Siamese cats are extremely temperamental. Well, I guess at least I have background noise. What's in the actual headlines? I see Trump. Oh. Maybe. Maybe I'll cover it. Well, I guess on the plus side, it smells like cut grass now. So, laws could backfire. What are they backfiring? Oh, why America's strict new anti-abortion laws could backfire. Okay, yeah. Serious kind of topic. But I'll go ahead and read through this one just because I don't know if a lot of people find this topic interesting, but I actually find it a little interesting and a little infuriating. Did you talk about the death of Grumpy Cat? Yes, I did. Poor kitty. It just kind of goes to show, though, because Grumpy Cat kind of had some obvious deformities, that there was probably a lot more going on with the cat, known by its owners as Tartar Sauce. She probably had a lot more issues than people thought. Poor kitty cat. But she will forever live on in memes. Anyway. The anti-abortion laws passed in recent days by legislators in Alabama and Georgia seem designed for one purpose: to get the Supreme Court to overturn its landmark 1973 Roe v. Wade, ruling that guaranteed a woman's right to an abortion. The court, more solidly conservative now than ever, thanks to the recent addition of Justice Brett Kavanaugh, may well uphold these new laws. Will voters do the same? Maybe not. There's plenty of evidence that citizens of conservative states are, to some extent, actually protective of abortion rights. It may not be something they proclaim in their offices, at church, or to the pollsters, but their secret belief can become quite evident once they enter the voting booth. This should be this should make the legislator who passes the new bills very nervous. The writer says, my home state of Kansas has been a hotbed of abortion-related activism. I have to make this a little bigger. The text is a little too small. For more than a generation. Most memorable, perhaps, is the 1991 Summer of Mercy protests in Wichita, where thousands of protesters flooded the city to blockade an abortion clinic operated by Dr. George Tiller. Over the course of 6 weeks, and more than 2,600 were arrested, anti-abortion protests in Kansas have, on occasion, congealed into violence. Tiller's clinic was firebombed in 1986, he was shot and injured by an abortion opponent in 93, and he was shot and killed by another abortion opponent in 2009. But the state record on abortion is more mixed than Tiller's story might suggest. Take, for example, the story of Phil Klein, someone you've likely never heard of, but whose rise and fall could be a warning sign for anti-abortion legislators in Kansas and other red states today. Klein spent a decade as a culture warrior in the Kansas legislature before being elected the state attorney general in 2002. He used the perch to go on an anti-abortion crusade, ultimately bringing more than 30 misdemeanor charges against Tiller in 2006. The judge threw out those charges. Tiller was acquitted in a follow-up case the following year. But voters in the famously red state of Kansas had enough. Klein lost his re-election campaign badly, with just 41% of the vote. He managed to get himself appointed as district attorney in Johnson County, home to prosperous Kansas City suburbs, only to lose a primary election 2 years after that. These days he's on the faculty at Liberty University in Virginia, having lost his law license for misconduct during the abortion investigations. Shut up, Tanuki! Fucking grumpy ass. Kansas is hardly a progressive state, but voters here often tire quickly of extremists. The same is probably true in other conservative states. While America's abortion politics are polarized, many citizens are closer to the mushy middle ground on abortion, morally squeamish about it, but sometimes willing to suspend those qualms when faced with difficult decisions for themselves or for family members. Across the nation as a whole, just 17% of Americans say Roe should be overturned entirely, and this reality is reflected at the state level. In 2008, voters in the solidly Republican state of South Dakota overwhelmingly rejected a statewide ban on abortion, and repeated the two feats 2 years later, even after expectations for incest and rape were added to the proposed law. In 2011, Mississippi voters rejected a similar referendum by an even larger margin. Back in my home state of Kansas, the state Supreme Court last month ruled shockingly that the state constitution protects the right to abortion. There are a lot of public pressures to be anti-abortion. Marvin Bauner, South Dakota OBGYN, said at the time of the 2008 proposal, people are more likely to answer the poll that they support a ban than they get into the ballot booth and decide they just can't vote for something like that. Let me see. I saw some new names. Corinne Eastwood says, I'm late, I'm sorry. Gabriel Sunny says she got dragged around the country. Mr. Kerwin, hey guys, greetings from sunny Helsinki. Good morning. Brent Webster, kill it before I get hit with child support. Oh no. Gabriel Sunny, so happy to have you on as working on a lot of boring stuff this afternoon and evening. Tanuki is insulting my reading skills. Void Horizon, normal people really don't care. Slacking claims he has a news story for me. I don't trust you. Can't help that I can keep my shit together, drunk and sober, fool, wahaha. I'll tell Frosty you said hi. Thank you. Howdy, y'all. Abortions for all women. If you use it as birth control, you will be sterilized. You know what would be nice? If we as a society could just settle the matter of reproductive rights and responsibility already. Doubt any of us would live long enough to see that happen, though. One of the things that I do kind of agree with, especially, it was something that, that Tonka had said. Oh god. Oh god. No, 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 no. What is this? Oh my god. It's something about sea otters. God damn it, Slacker. Sterilization should be legitimate punishment. I don't hate this. One of the things that Tonka said was, and I actually do really agree with this, is that if a couple, like, gets, if the woman gets pregnant and the guy doesn't want to be a dad and she still wants to have the baby, then, you know, maybe they should work something else. Like, she wants it, he doesn't. I don't know. Maybe he can sign something that says, maybe they can mutually agree, like, yeah, I'm not responsible for this. And just sign it, and then it's law. Okay, this is one of the parts, this comes up to one of the parts that I really have a fucking issue with the Alabama law. These sweeping new laws do very little to assuage the concerns of such voters. Alabama's bill, for example, makes no exception for incest or rape. Georgia's law would grant personhood protections to fetuses just 6 weeks after conception. Even if the Supreme Court upholds the law, the example from Kansas, Mississippi, and South Dakota suggests that legislators who passed these new bills could find themselves suddenly vulnerable. Of course, that won't satisfy pro-choice women and men who believe the right of abortion is just that, a right, to be defended by government, not compromised by it. Today, women can only thrive in a state that protects their most basic rights, the right to choose when and whether to start a family. Andrea Young, executive director of Georgia's ACLU, I don't agree with that, said last week, pledging to challenge the state's new law. Despite the high stakes of coming court battles and the new anti-abortion laws, the Supreme Court is not the end of the line. New politics, few battles are ever completely won or lost. Nearly 50 years after Roe v. Wade, the fight may just begin anew. See, that's where I have the issue with these bills, because Ohio is having a bill go into effect in July it's a heartbeat bill, but it also makes no exception for incest or rape. I have a major issue with that. Because, while there are some cases where it's like, oh, they had unprotected sex, they were irresponsible, and this is their consequence, versus something that most people do not choose. You don't choose to be violated like that. And they broke it down. God, let me see if I can find the article. Let's see here. Here it is. Alright. An 11-year-old Ohio girl who became pregnant after a series of rapes has the option to get a legal abortion. But in a couple of months, when the heartbeat law is signed to go into effect, the child would be forced to carry the baby to term. Why? Not only does the new and extremely restrictive anti-abortion legislation outlaw abortions after 6 weeks, before many women even know they're pregnant, it also doesn't cover exceptions for issues like rape, incest, or maternal age. The only exceptions are guaranteed in cases when life or health of the mother is in danger. See, one of the things that I raised up on Twitter was, would her age actually factor into, like, the medical emergency standpoint? Because her body's not developed yet. Bart Stewart says perhaps an exception for rape would lead to false rape allegations? No, that's generally not the case. Let's see here. I can see the logic behind not making exceptions for incest and rape from a pro-life perspective. It's killing the child for crimes of the parent. Yeah, but at the same time, it's like, it's legislating morality. And I don't know, it's already one traumatic thing, and then you have to give birth for the result of the traumatic thing. Like, from a pro-life standpoint, I can kind of see where they're coming from, but on a human standpoint, I don't think it's right. Most legislation is a reflection of morality. The problem is morality is subjective. This is just one example of girls and women who would be forced to carry and give birth to babies. According to the FBI, 4,000 women are raped each year in Ohio, or rather, that's a tiny fraction of who reported to the police, and 800 reported rapes involve incest. To be fair, I'd judge your reading skill regardless because I'm an asshole. Also, I have a difficult time not fucking with you when I can argue decently regardless of the state of my being. God damn it. This doesn't bother oh god. Yeah, you can tell who wrote this. This doesn't bother the white lawmakers in Ohio who have forced the law through despite the obvious harm it would cause. Ohio Governor Mike DeWine, who signed the bill, put the rights of the fetus squarely above any rights of the mother. The essential function of government is to protect the most vulnerable among us, those who don't have a voice. Government's role should be to protect life from the beginning to the end. Apparently the most vulnerable among us will not include an 11-year-old rape victim starting in mid-July. And there's a link to a bunch of tweets. The heartbeat bill, called the Ohio Human Rights Protection Act, isn't Ohio's only problem when it comes to women's rights and bodily autonomy. Even currently, the state has extremely strict abortion laws that would make it exceedingly difficult to choose. There's a complete ban on abortion over 20 weeks. Good. And minors either have to have paternal consent or argue their case before a judge. Good. Okay, those I do not have a fucking problem with. 20 weeks and on is the third trimester. That falls into line with what the Supreme Court set with Roe v. Wade. Fetal viability. And I'm sorry, you waited 20 weeks. Are you kidding me? Let's see here. 4 weeks and a month. Just in case anyone needed that lesson. How many months is that, guys? Exactly. You waited that fucking long to terminate a pregnancy? Third trimester on? Or 20 weeks and on? Or those disgusting partial birth abortions? Fuck that. Fuck that. You made your bed. You waited too fucking long. If you don't want this child, and your life isn't seriously in danger, look into adoption then. Because fuck you. At that point, like... Because I had it out with Jabbers about this before. Well, we didn't have it out. We had a conversation. Because we are two rational adults. And I see where he's coming from. He sees where I'm coming from. We don't necessarily agree. But, yeah. Like, this is technically progress. Everyone is slowly coming to consensus on parts of the abortion debate. Like, the 20-week and viability things seem fairly accepted by a lot of people. How about legalizing post-term abortions as well? No. No. Yeah, Yeah, I'm looking at this from, like, a woman's standpoint. Because, like, quite a few of the issues we can have are very internal. And you waited 20 weeks. What the fuck is wrong with you? Yeah, those things on the books, completely agree with. I'm okay with a countrywide ban on abortions over 20 weeks. Yeah, I can agree with that 100%. There's so much that already has to fall in place already for a girl like her to have an abortion in Ohio, never mind 6-week ban. Elizabeth Nash, a senior state issue manager at the Guttmacher Institute, a reproductive rights research organization, told CBS. It's unclear what will happen in the case of this girl, but what we know is depressing. The pregnancy care center, the interaction with her, has engaged in what sounds like blatant victim blaming by describing the 11-year-old as rebellious and rapes as non-forcible, as if an 11-year-old could ever possibly consent to intercourse. And as if this was all her fault. The police too noted the girl's delinquent behaviors, as if she doesn't need all the help and support in the world right now. Her alleged rapist, Juan Leon Gomez, has been indicted for felony rape and obstruction of official business by the Stark County Court and will appear in court later this May. Ohio is one of 6 states to pass heartbeat bills in recent months, with Georgia joining the pack most recent, in addition to Iowa, Mississippi, North Dakota, and Kentucky. Alabama is voting on the issue soon. See, Georgia's still has the exception for rape and incest. So, yeah, I don't find that one as... Yeah, sorry, no. Like, I don't necessarily agree with the 6-week mark, but at the same time, they do have those exceptions on the books. In the last 4 cases, the law is being blocked by federal judges. In Georgia and Ohio, organizations like the ACLU are gearing up for a fight, claiming that the bills are unconstitutional due to Roe v. Wade. At the same time, women in the affected states are preparing for a world where they could be punished simply for making a medical decision about their body. Like my mom is a devout Catholic, but she still feels like she doesn't feel like there should be government legislation, for the most part, about abortions. Like, she agrees with the 20 on mark, but she also feels like it should be between a woman and her doctor. Killing Joke says, what the actual fuck is going on in the Discord? People are posting shit in there, and it's gross and frightening, and it ruined everything. Fix it, vamp, fix it, fix it, fix it. Dude, don't even get me started. I got tagged in something, and I'm like, oh, what did crowd tag me? Oh my god. It threw me off. I got mad. Holy shit. You missed my opening music, by the way. I played Warrant and Black Sabbath, and you weren't even here. I want to see if I can get on a happier topic than fucking abortion. Holy shit. Blood Tucker says, I'm fucking late. I've only been going for 45 minutes. Yeah, Tonga had a late night. I don't know what time he's getting up. Hey, Vamp, you look so fucking pretty. Hello, Blood Toker. Thank you very much. I'm going back to the weird news. What? Oh, it's just a video. I thought there was a little article behind that too. Never mind. Let's see here. That's too late. Abortion is better than the Discord. Holy fuck the horror. Wow, when that is the preferred topic of my chat. Oh. Oh. No. Why? Why is this a thing? Oh my god. Also, hello Jacob. I just saw you there. And Adrian. It sounds like you need a smoke break. Dude, I always smoke. The reason why my intro songs are so long, I'll pick 2 and then I'll play the 6-minute long intro, is because I generally will smoke 2 cigarettes before I start this shit. Oh no. Vamp 2019. Blood Toker for $10 Canadian. Buy things, please. Budding. Thank you, Blood Toker. I appreciate it. It's a thing because Kraut and Discord. Pretty much. Glad to see the creepy girl didn't eat you. It's the world's biggest vagina? Make exceptions for rape and incest if the victim provides a police report. I don't know how you would provide it for incest, because I think most people are just like, yeah, sure, whatever. Blood Toker for 10 Canadian again. Also, call Kraut a Jew on my behalf. I mean, I can do that. J-O-O. Choo. Budding. Oh, let's see here. Failure looks like a retired boy band member trying to keep it going. Oh. I made the standard Liz teeth are at Civil War joke, but crowd is on a different level. Bloodtoker throws 10 more Canadian monies. Also, here's 10 more because money. Love you, Toker. You're good. You're good people. Aww. William, you still there? William. Answer me. Did you hear Sparkly Vampire aka Robert Pattinson is gonna be next Batman? I heard that and I stared blankly for a bit. Thrax says Batman is now dead to me. Void Horizon says I'm safe from the hell in that Discord because I'm not in it anymore. Hi Vamp, I have no money to give. I spent it all on beer and Chinese food last night. Well then. Bad Dragon says sparkly bat nips. I want to know if William's still here because this is a great story. Okay. Veterinarian patches tortoise's shell with screen door repair kit. It's a feel-good story that's not abortion. What the fuck is that noise? May 15th, a California veterinarian said he made a trip to Home Depot and bought a screen door repair kit to save the life of an injured tortoise. Dr. Daniel Barber said the tortoise was brought into the Humane Society of San Diego about 2 weeks ago with a hole in its shell just over its shoulder. I did have to get a little bit creative. I've never done something like this before. Barber used a screen door repair kit and some fiberglass epoxy from Home Depot to patch the hole in the animal's shell. I'm actually pretty proud of my accomplishment, Barber said. Susie Clayton, rescue supervisor at the Humane Society, praised Barber's actions on Facebook. Incredible work, as usual, by one of San Diego Humane Society's best, Dr. Barber, she wrote. He saved a turtle, and that makes me happy. Well, maybe it'll be like the guy who played Batman in the 1989 movie and he'll put it off. Are you kidding me? Really? Yep, that's a thing. That's a fucking thing. Did a bird hit your wall? No. It's a lawnmower. William says, save the baby turtles. It's a black helicopter outside your window. I only hear it faintly if that helps. It helps a little bit. But it's still there. Oh my god, move on. Move the fuck on. Come on. Go, 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 go. Hello, Blackout. Are you in a fucking bungalow or something? No, I just had my window open because otherwise I'm going to overheat and die. I faintly hear it, and by faintly I mean loudly. Okay, he's fucking gone. Cool. Happy Norwegian Constitution Day. You guys have a constitution? Blurred lines. A pregnant man's tragedy tests gender notions. Goddamn people doing hard work, making noise. I know, right? Be considerate of me. I mean, God. I'm kidding. It is when you have an entire complex to do. Just call it National Day. Okay, when a man arrived at the hospital with severe abdominal pains, a nurse didn't consider it an emergency, noting that he was obese and had stopped taking blood pressure medications. In reality, he was pregnant. A transgender man in labor that was about to end in a stillbirth. That's sad. The tragic case described in Wednesday's New England Journal of Medicine points to larger issues about signing labels or making assumptions in a society increasingly confronting gender variations in sports, entertainment, and government. In medicine, there is a similar danger of missing diseases such as sickle cell or cystic fibrosis that largely affect specific racial groups, the author writes. The point is not what happened to this particular individual, but this is an example of what happens to transgender people interacting with the healthcare system, said the lead doctor, Dr. Daphne Stromasa? I rolled up my sleeves. I could probably just take the hoodie off. But I like the fresh air. It saves it. It gets really stuffy in here if I don't have it open. Let's see here. He was rightly classified as a man in the medical records and appears masculine, Stramasa said. But the classification threw us off from considering his actual medical needs. Stramasa would not say where or when the case occurred, but the patient was not identified. Transgender men who are considered female at birth but who identify as male may or may not be using masculine hormones or have had surgical altercations such as womb removal. The 32-year-old patient told the nurse he was transgender when he arrived at the emergency room, and his electronic medical record listed him as male. He hadn't had a period in several years and had been taking testosterone, a hormone that has masculizing effects and can decrease ovulation and menstruation, but he quit taking the hormone and blood pressure medication after he lost insurance. A home pregnancy test was positive, and he said he had peed himself, quote unquote, a possible sign of ruptured membrane and labor. A nurse ordered a pregnancy test but considered him stable and his problem non-urgent. Several hours later, a doctor evaluated him and the hospital test confirmed pregnancy. An ultrasound showed unclear signs of fetal heart activity, and an exam revealed that part of the umbilical cord had slipped into the birth canal. Doctors prepared to do an emergency cesarean delivery, but in the operating room, no fetal heartbeat was heard. Moments later, the man delivered a stillborn baby. A woman showing up with similar symptoms would almost surely have been triaged and evaluated more urgently for pregnancy-related problems, the author wrote. It's a very unsettling incident. It's a tragic outcome, said Dr. Tamara Wexler, a hormone specialist in NYU Langone Medical Center. Medical training should include exposure to transgender patients, so health workers are better able to meet their needs, Wexler said. A lot of doctors who are practicing didn't have that in their training, but can still learn from such patients now. Nick Ryder, a transgender health specialist and psychologist at University of Minnesota, said training isn't enough. There are implicit biases that need to be addressed. Health records may use male-female templates for gender, but it doesn't mean that we just throw out critical thinking or think how humans are diverse. The case is horrifying, but not terribly surprising, said Jillian Brandsetter, a spokeswoman for the advocacy group National Center for Transgender Equality in Washington. Transgender people often run into problems getting gender-specific health care, such as cervical cancer screenings, birth control, and prostate cancer screenings. But more needs to be done to improve medical awareness and recognition of diversity because the consequences can be so dire as this case shows, Brandsetter said. Jesus Christ. I mean, it's sad for the dude who lost his baby. And I'm gonna call him a dude because apparently he wanted to be a dude. And I'm honestly one of those people, as long as you don't want me to call you like Z, Zem, or Zer, I'm just gonna fucking call you what you want me to call you. Oh god, Kraut, stop. Why? Why, Kraut, why? Ugh. Anyway, what is chat saying? No nude stream, at least wear socks. Gotta keep ankles covered, degenerate. I am wearing socks. They are black and pink. This man is an alien. This is what probing does. Maybe the transgender stuff is just BS for a lot of people. Beware of the flying saucers. Vamp goes to the doctor to ask for any good cookie baking Why are you obsessed with cookies? Go buy your own cookies. I want to be called a handsome man. I'll go buy what I see. And I can't. Don't put your identified gender on your medical records. Doctors are biologists, not psychologists. Further proof that just wanting to be the opposite gender doesn't actually make it so. These people delude themselves. Player 1, abortion is murder. The mob of angry women is after me. Be right back after college class so I can go run and hide in the bunker AP's living in. See you around. Oh, bad Dragonite for 2. Use this to get napalm for the yard. No more mowing. I appreciate it. There's a weed eater now. I can't win today. Happy Friday! Happy fucking Friday. Pink and black? Yes. Dudes don't do vag sex when fucking dudes, they do it. Adrian, I think everybody knows that. Blood Toker just throws 1 Canadian because Blood Toker. Thank you. Let me see here. That was a weird fucking story. Pence blasts liberal states for extreme pro-abortion laws. Wait, what? Not this time. See, the Washington Times is really... And Blood Toker throws another dollar Canadian. Pink and black socks? Scandalous. I know, right? And she throws another... She's just having fun with this. I really don't mean in any way sound horrible, but biology is more important than feeling when you're in need of medical assistance. Yeah, I mean, like, if they came in, they're like, hey, I'm transgender, I took an at-home pregnancy test, it said I was pregnant, I need help because my stomach hurts really fucking bad. I mean, to me, that would be, like, the logical case. Willie Run owned lawn service for 17 years. Good job for you. Okay, what did Pence say? I know there are a bunch of people that don't like Pence, but Vice President Mike Pence on Thursday slammed states that are approving extreme pro-abortion laws. Speaking to reporters in Wisconsin, Mr. Pence praised states such as Alabama that are passing laws that ban abortion when fetal heartbeat is present, saying such efforts are embracing life. But sadly, many states around the country are also adopting extreme pro-abortion legislature, Mr. Pence said. We recently saw the state New York embrace late-term abortion. Oh, okay. Killing Joke says, I can't money this her, I'm broke. Yeah, Joke's got a computer to fund. Oh, I kind of thought that he was gonna actually say something about the rape and incest thing. Okay, I'm disappointed. Whoa. Let me see here. I'm just skimming through the headlines over on Drudge. Blood Toker says, step 1, steal money. Step 2, give it to Vamp. Is that considered laundering? Pence is a fun guy. So, what the? Oh, shit. Goku has silver 5. Use this to line your yard with cassowaries to graze your yard instead of noisy mowers. Will also keep away unwanted trains and bruises. I mean, not wrong, but then I'm gonna have a very dangerous, angry, poisonous bird on my lawn. So, not sure. Let's see here. Wow, it's kind of... For shit that I don't really care about, it's kind of a slow Friday. 2 hours. Cassowaries are pretty noisy. I know. It's like when people get peacocks as pets, and they're just like, oh no, it's so pretty. And then they make that weird noise. It's just, nah, fuck that. No, fuck peacocks. Well, is a cassowary really any more dangerous than a cranky tonka? True. Captain said hard. But my hoard keeps my scales shiny and hard. I needs it. What? What is this? Mumbai, May 16th. Amazon.com faced a social media backlash in India on Thursday after toilet seat covers and other items emblazoned with images of Hindu gods were spotted on its website. Thousands of Twitter users backed a call for boycott of the U.S. retailer, making hashtag boycott Amazon India's top trending topic on Twitter. Some tagged Indian Foreign Minister Sushma Swaraj, urging her to take action against the company. Amazon, the world's biggest online retailer, said it was removing the products from its online store. All sellers must follow our selling guidelines, and those who do not will be subject to action, including potential removal of their account, the company said in a statement. The episode is reminiscent of an incident in 2017 when the Indian government took Amazon to task after its Canadian website was spotted selling doormats resembling India's flag. Swaja, at the time, threatened to rescind visas of Amazon employees if the doormats were not removed from its site. Reuters found several listings of toilet seat covers, yoga mats, sneakers, rugs, and other items depicting Hindu gods and sacred Hindu symbols on Amazon's US website. Some of the items were no longer available for purchase until you hit these Hindu-phobic business hard. They will keep on insulting your gods, your beliefs, and your entire civilization, tweeted Sumit Kendall, whose profile describes him as a film trade analyst. Someone's probably going to clip you saying fuck peacocks. They're noisy. And it's only male peacocks. Aw. So sweet. India is a toilet. Ooh. Be right back. Leave the butt-related articles for another 5 minutes. Indians don't even use fucking toilets. Why do you care? Indians don't buy toilet seats. They are street... God damn! Hindu-phobic Lamau. T-Series subscriber. Indians use their drinking water for toilet... oh, this is so gross. Trump is a Hindu god now, at least to one guy. Okay, you guys are still talking about me saying fuck peacocks. No, fuck those things. They're loud. They're noisy. Also, they're birds, so I already have a predilection to not like them. Just saying. I gotta fix my leg. My leg's gonna fall asleep. There we go. Okay. Ebola? You say? Dakar, Senegal. Some doctors fighting the second deadliest Ebola outbreak in history are afraid to wear scrubs. They mask their identities to avoid harassment and violence in Congo, where the epidemic is spreading at the fastest rate since it started in August, and where rampant misinformation fuels a distrust of outsiders in medical garb. The World Health Organization has logged 119 attacks this year against health workers. 85 have been wounded or killed. Fear is changing tactics among aid staffers who set out to convince communities that Ebola is real and they were there to help end it. Now, some downplay their mission is public, swapping white coats for street clothes and attention-grabbing SUVs for motorbikes that blend into traffic. Our staff has to lie about being doctors in order to treat people, said Tariq Rebel, Emergency Response Director in Congo for International Rescue Committee, the IRC, a global aid group, and the violence hampers to the response effort in a more direct way. Ebola infections tend to spike after attacks, experts say, because emergency responders are forced to take cover and halt the distribution of immunity-boosting vaccines. The death toll in the Central African country reached 1,136 this week, government officials said. The infection count, meanwhile, has climbed to 1,632, with 88 more suspected. Congo's Ministry of Health said concerns are growing that the crisis in Congo's North Kivu province could become as lethal as West Africans' battle against hemorrhagic fever from 2013 to 2016, which killed 11,310 people across 3 countries. The tragedy is that we have the technical means to stop Ebola, but all parties halt attacks in the response. It will be very difficult to end the outbreak. WHO Director Tedros Adhanom, I can't pronounce, holy shit, tweeted May 10th. In April, assault on a hospital killed a Cameroon epidemiologist in the verdant city of... Why do I do this to myself? Butembo. The outbreak current hotspot. The killing drove hundreds of Congolese doctors and nurses into the streets. They threatened to strike if the mayor did not support them with stronger security. But a string of assaults followed. A WHO team was attacked in early May after burying an Ebola victim. 5 days later, dozens of gunmen stormed the team's neighborhood and exchanged bullets with security forces near their temporary homes. Ribel, who oversees a team of about 100 IRC workers in Goma, said his staff has to suspend treatments last week after taking cover from gunfire in nearby streets. The doctors don't wear their uniforms in public because people throw rocks at them, he said, and they've stopped driving SUVs through town. Motorbikes draw less attention. When our doctors try to find housing, he said, some say they are lawyers. After attackers who killed epidemiologist Richard Valerie Muzoko, that is a name, Kaibung, a city official told Associated Press that armed fighters believed foreign health workers had started Congo's epidemic. According to witnesses at the scene, these militiamen wanted all the ex partes to go home because, according to them, Ebola does not exist in Butembo, said Patrick Kambala Siko, a deputy mayor of Butembo. They said they will continue these ex partes. They will continue if these ex partes do not return as soon as possible. So they're blaming the doctors who are treating this. Holy shit. U.S. officials are assembling the American role in curbing the crisis after sending a delegation, including Tim Ziemer, acting assistant administrator at the U.S. Agency for International Development, to Congo this month to meet with Ebola experts on the ground. USAID acting spokesman Tom Babington said in an email, the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention put Ebola experts from North Kivu last year after an armed group attacked a Congolese military site along a road near where the team was traveling. The CDC has 17 people in the cities of Kinshasa and Goma, but hope to expand our response to team in Congo to 40, CDC Director Robert Redfield said in an interview Wednesday. Timing will depend on whether the State Department approves security precautions for those experts. The outbreak response is not succeeding despite all the efforts. Redfield said the additional personnel for Goma are in anticipation of new cases moving to the city, which is home to more than 1 million people and has direct flights to key transit hubs, including Ethiopian capital Addis Ababa and Entebbe, Uganda. Redfield said long-term plan needs to be put in place, which he added could take as long as 2 years. We make a mistake underestimating the complexity of this outbreak, he said. Experts are urging global community to pour more resources into Congo's struggle. We are at a breaking point, said Stephen Morrison, a senior vice president at the Center for Strategic and International Studies in Washington, who has tracked the outbreak. Violent attacks are winning, and infections are unchecked. More than 140 armed groups operated last year in North and South Kivu provinces, according to the 2019 Human Rights Watch report. We need to call the situation what it is, said Jennifer Nuzzo, a senior scholar at Johns Hopkins Center for Health and Security. Countries will be forced to act if the outbreak spills across Congo's borders, but by then the cost of response will be much greater and the prospects for containment will be more difficult. Jesus Christ. I think the person next to me on the train is trans. Well done. Sounds like Akagen blaming autism on vaccines. I don't blame Vamp for the reason why I don't have any I blame Vamp for the reason why I don't have any cookies. Maybe that's just because you're lazy. Does anyone have the analysis on how Ebola is affecting cannibalism? No, I do not have that. Foreign, click. Magumbo. Jesus. So embargo the fucking hubs, you plebs. Have a great day, Vamp. Don't melt in the heat. I try not to. I like to stay inside. I'm a little too fair to be outside. Jesus Christ. Let's see here. Vampire. I'm going back to odd news. Oh, let's see here. Michigan man routine pays off after 30 years. Where was the other one? There was another lottery story. Michigan man's lucky numbers win lottery prize after 10 years. A Michigan man who's been playing the same set of lottery numbers for 10 years says he finally won a $100,000 jackpot. Morning, Ian. Read the story about Snapchat transphobia? Okay. I'll do that right after this. I like to break it up between, this is fucking weird and infuriating to, hey, look, a feel-good story. But I will look this one up. Paste. Okay, anyway. This guy won a $100,000 jackpot while he was out of the country. The 42-year-old Oakland County man told Michigan lottery officials that he has been playing the same numbers to the Fantasy 5 drawing for a decade. It's on Vice. Okay. I've been playing the same set of numbers for 10 years, which are a combination of dates and lucky numbers, the man said. I was leaving the country for 2 weeks and decided to purchase a multi-draw ticket before I left to make sure I didn't miss any draws. And I'm so happy that I did. The man said he was so excited to collect his prize from the May 5th drawing that he didn't even go home before visiting lottery headquarters. When I checked the winning numbers the morning after the drawing, I recognized them right away and knew I had won big. I couldn't wait to get home and claim my prize. I got off my flight this morning and came straight to the lottery to claim my prize. The winning numbers were 11, 15, 28, 31, and 34. The man said he plans to put his winnings towards buying a house. It feels great to win a prize like this. My lucky set of numbers finally paid off after 10 years. Demo Man says, same numbers for 10 years. Dedication right there. Exactly. Okay, Vice article. Oh, god damn it, this was on Drudge too. I didn't realize that. Alright. Okay, I don't know if you guys are aware, I don't know how many of you use Snapchat or not, but they have these two new filters that will make you look like a man or a woman. Like, I did mine, and Blossom claims that I look like... I look like some actor. Can't really place it, but... She's like, you look like an actor with the man filter on. I'm like, I don't know who, but okay. Am I at least a pretty man? It's a fun filter. But anyway, Vice wrote an article, May 16th. Snapchat's gender-swapping photo filters can result in real transphobia. There's a fine line between encouraging people to take gender less seriously and not considering trans realities. Let me zoom in, y'all. Last week, Snapchat rolled out a new feature that allows users to view a gender-swapped version of themselves. Screenshots of the filter popped up across social media, with at least one person going as far as to use a female version of himself to match with people on Tinder. Gender-swapping filters are nothing new. This form of technology has been used for years in apps like FaceApp, but the opportunity of Snapchat filters has caused concern among some members of the transgender and gender non-conforming community. Thoughts on Gerard Way? I like My Chemical Romance. I enjoy Umbrella Academy. Pretty much that. Anyway. Dana Vivian White, a non-binary speaker and trainer who serves on the board of directors at Collective Action for Safe Spaces, believes most cisgender people are enjoying a basic form of gender play without any real thought about TGNC people. Yet, there's a fine line between encouraging people to take gender less seriously and not consider trans realities and carelessly perpetuating misunderstanding about trans identities, they told Vice. While cis people are able to use filters with zero triggers whatsoever, said Lisbon Plague, a trans woman seeing cisgender people use the filters make her feel dysphoric because of the hypothetical outcome of using it herself. I'm paranoid that someone I know is eventually going to be like, come on, it's fun. Let's see you try it. Are you fucking kidding me? Go away. Okay, I have to shut the window. Adrian Ridings, who is non-binary, says they have personally heard from some trans people that the filter is fun and gender affirming, while others see it as oblivious to the violence waged against transgender people. What? I kind of liked the filter because it's hard to imagine what you'd look like as another gender, and I love what we can do with, I love that we can do that, Writing said. However, they also unfollowed people on Twitter who liked a joke that echoed the long-standing trope of trans people using their gender as a trick. Eric Stanley, an assistant professor for gender and sexuality studies at the University of California, Riverside, with a focus on queer and trans social movements, noted that the social media response to gender-swapping filters seems like the latest iteration of ongoing practices of transphobia and homophobia. What do gay people have to do with this? What the fuck? Okay, it seems like the response to the filters support the idea that men should be outraged when they learn that the gender of those they are attracted to does not directly map on the culture norms dominant society mandates, they said. I can't tell you how many videos I've seen of people using the filter as an opportunity to bash transgender people and say it's the devil's work and how it's going to get people catfished, said Malia London, who is trans. For the TGNC community, catfishing is a term meant to lure someone into a relationship by using a fictional persona could potentially lead to violence in the trans community, as well as reinforcing the idea of TGNC people encouraging in a form of trickery. We are essentially the butt of the joke, though cruel and insensitive caricature. Maybe don't lie that you're trans. Think of that. Don't lie about it. If you're trans, own it. Put it on your profile. It's like, I'm a trans woman or I'm a trans man. One of the two. Most of the time they have no issue telling people. If you don't want the person that you're possibly into to have any surprises, don't surprise them with that. Or just don't use Snapchat. One or the other. Holy shit. Slacking Game says, nope. Rhino Ramgoose says, just did my gender reassignment snap. Ha ha ha. God Bother says, I've been catfish. What is TGNC? Stop creating fake communities, you bitches. I'm pretty enough already, says Bastard Beast. I'm legit debating using that and making a fake Tinder. Just don't use Snapchat, but Vamp, she has feminine testicles. Can't wait to hear the BTK's take on this. The man has a front hole. Oh god, the front hole shit. Can we not? I find the term front hole very offensive. Or be a normal person and don't be trans. Some people cannot help it. I actually have a personal friend in real life that was a girl when we went to high school. She is a guy now. He is very happy with his life. He's the same person. He just looks like a dude now. Looks and acts like a guy. Slacking games for 2? No. They want to crying game someone. Jesus. I'm all for be what you want to be. Be honest about it. Please. It'll avoid a lot of issues. I'll breathe. Okay. Continuing. I can't tell you how many videos I've seen of people using the filter as an opportunity to bash transgender people. I've already read that. Holy shit, I'm so thrown off. When reached for comment, a spokeswoman for Snapchat wrote that the company understands that identity is deeply personal and is working across the company to ensure its filters are diverse and inclusive by offering a variety of different effects. The issue may not be the filters themselves, but the intention of the person using the filters, explained Rebecca, a trans woman who asked that her last name be omitted for privacy. While I enjoyed using the filter because it helped alleviate my gender dysphoria, the way many cis people use it was counterproductive, she said, speaking specifically about people who using it to make transphobic jokes and misleading people on dating apps. I think there's a great opportunity providing people space to explore their gender expression, says Celeste Destiny, a black trans woman. However, from the things that I've seen, too often cisgender people are using it to engage in behaviors that aren't even acceptable for actual gender fluid or trans people. Are you legislating people having fun? Holy shit, it's not always a slight against you. Oh my god. Oh my head. Divinity feels that seeing straight men using the filter to catfish their friends is unfair, noting that the same people demonize and antagonize trans women online for simply being on these apps. I'm banned from Tinder for no other reason than altering my profile when I transition, she said. Though Tinder offers 37 gender identity marker options, transgender people have reported being kicked off the app for no discernible reason other than their gender in the past. Make a new profile! Having people make light of something that I get brutalized for is patronizing, to say the least, Divinity said. Josh Langdon, a queer LGBTQ rights attorney who defends transgender people in cases concerning their identity, said the Snapchat should have talked to the TGNC community before releasing the filter. This is passive-aggressive transphobia, in the sense that it fetishizes gender. I am unreasonably angry. What's chat saying? Do these professional busybodies have better things to do during their time? No real person is named Divinity. If you're a man and an avid user of Snapchat, I think you have a bigger problem than Snapchat filters. It's not a chip on their shoulder, it's the whole field of fucking potatoes. Like I said, those complaining want to be oppressed, like fucking Face Rig. Ian, do you use Ubisoft? Do you think Ubisoft will be adding flashlights in Division 2? That's from Jacob. It's for fun. Maybe someone should set their cars on fire. Oh god, Jetty. You always go straight to arson. People are flipping over the gender filter. Lol. Isn't that what they're doing? Fetishizing gender? Josh Langdon? The Trininci code? Trininci code. Oh god damn it. God fucking damn it. Others, like intersex author Vanessa Clark, believe it's the responsibility of cis people to understand their own role in using the app. It just reads as really hypocritical when cis people use it to treat gender as a convenience and a joke for fun and laughs, when they can turn a blind eye to trans and non-binary people in our struggle. In 2018, the Human Rights Campaign released a report detailing the ongoing violence committed against the transgender community. The report documented at least 22 transgender people killed in the US that year, and notes that the number is likely underreported as transgender people are targeted with deadly violence may not be properly identified as transgender. Clark said she wishes cisgender people would think about how, to them, the Snapchat feature is just a filter, but the least they could do is be more respectful and mindful to us, not just online but offline too. Holy shit! I'll go over to the chat. This is that is convenient because it makes me want to be stabbed in the cunt. Intersex. Our struggle, Mein Kampf. These people have nothing real to complain about, so they make up shit to be offended by. Fuck your term of cis. Non-binary doesn't exist, fuck off. Killing Joke says, I laughed. Hypebreak says, the trans statistic is misrepresented because it doesn't take into account the causes of violence. If they get killed in a car crash, they are added to the statistic. Are you fucking serious? That's retarded. If they're struggling, I know a great book for them. The cis people need to collectivize and stop their oppressors. MK Thale says, fix my name. No. No, my context. Vamp needs a hug sound. Now by the sounds of it, she's getting pissed off. Hug time for Vamp. I wonder if Vamp and I will get banned off Snapchat for flirting with each other using the dude filters. I mean, yeah, we're having fun with that. You know what's respectful? Not pitching a bitch over this dumb shit constantly. No shit. Vehicular collisions are transphobic. No, my lighting is homophobic. If you ask one of my bestie's husbands, Vamp is a hot dude. That app made me sexy as fuck. All rugged and shit. I'm going back to the feel-good stories because I'm angry. I'm also gonna shoot a message over here. Okay. Oh my god, so angry. So mad. Vamp has sexy eyes, thank you. Holy shit. Ian says it made me a hot woman. Oh my god, interesting fact, there are more Native Americans than trans people in the US. How much do people care about Native peoples? Heh. Let's see here. That sounds dangerous. May 14th. Continue without supporting the site. I'm not turning off my ad blocker. May 14th. Police in Illinois said reports of two furry bull-like species wandering loose through the road led to the capture of two Scottish Highland cattle. Lake County Sheriff's Office Sergeant Christopher Covelli said a call came in at 5:30 a.m. Monday for two cows wandering along northbound Route 59 in unincorporated Lake Villa Township. He told the Chicago Tribune a second call reported two furry bull-like species in the area. Deputies Rebecca Loeb and Chris DeWitt were able to guide the bulls through the neighborhood until they were picked up by their owner. The sheriff's office said the cattle were safely in cow study and returned to the local farm where they had escaped an unlatched gate. How the fuck did Angus's get into Illinois? You got me. Read the otter story. Dogs go bark. Okay. What the fuck? Why are you just saying random shit? Bad Thrax. Okay, fine, Slacker, I'll read the fucking story. You're welcome. Oh, god damn it. Slacker, we need to have a word. Slacker, I need you to have a seat over here. We need to have a talk. Title of the article: Sea otters are bouncing back and into the jaws of great white sharks. Decades of conservation work have boosted sea otter populations in many parts of the North Pacific, but the animals are now being killed by great white sharks. The sharks aren't actually trying to eat the otters, preferring calorie-dense blubbery prey like seals and sea lions. The bites are merely investigative, with the sharks recoiling with a mouth of fur instead of a fatty meal, but such bites often cause mortal injuries to the otters, and they're now happening more often off California's beaches. After seeing a growing trend in the number of dead, bitten sea otters being washed ashore, Jerry Moxley at the Monterey Bay Aquarium and his colleagues set out to investigate where and when these bites were happening. The team compiled data on the seasonal movements of sharks and their preferred prey, elephant seals, as well as data on standings of bitten otters. They used this information to compare the timing of shark bites on prey as well as mistargeted species, otters, and humans. They found that sea otters were being bitten more frequently in the summer around the time adult sharks come closer to shore before moving on to seal rookeries. This is also when humans are most oftenly mistakenly targeted. The researchers think the sharks' low in fat reserves after their migration from feeding grounds hundreds of kilometers out into the Pacific are less discriminating towards any seal-shaped animal they encounter, because sharks are dumb. Moxley said his team also found that it was mostly intrepid young and male otters that fell victim to sharks. The males and younger otters are more pioneering, more likely to venture into new territory beyond the denser kelp cover in the otter's core range, says Moxley. While pioneering otters are more at risk of fatal shark encounters, this may make it harder for the species to reestablish itself in other areas. Brett Hughes of Sonoma State University think otters may start seeking refuge from sharks in protected estuaries. He has seen something similar happen in Alaska's Aleutian Islands, where sea otters hide from orca predation in shallow bays. Moxley says findings could help guide otter reintroduction efforts by documenting when and where otters are most at risk of shark bites. Says Moxley, we can adjust rehabilitation and release practices to support survival post-release. So, otters are dumb. Why is there a picture of Elton John on Drudge? Ooh. Published 4 hours ago. How am I going? Okay, I got time. ICE to hire a contractor to transport 225,000 migrants to shelters across the U.S. Go from serious to not serious to serious. Let's see here. Anyway, maybe sharks can see movement like tricks. T-Rexes. I can walk on land. Take that, sharks. Ha ha ha. Land sharks. No one said they were smart. Good story, yeah. Otters make great pets. It was pretty good. Floating dock problem solved. Is Elton John okay? Elton John is okay. It has something to do with Rocket Man. Elton John has a biopic out. I believe Elton John actually threw shade at the Freddie Mercury movie. He's like, my lead actor actually sings the parts. Sharks are responsible for half the deaths. I really thought it'd be the tuna. Otters are necrophiliacs. They are. Otters are not as cute as people think they are. The Trump administration is looking to hire a private contractor that will be responsible for transporting approximately 225,000 migrant children and families to shelters across the country over the next 5 years as they wait for their asylum claims to be processed. ICE, the Federal Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency, is seeking the service of a highly responsible contractor that fully embraces the philosophy of treating all the unaccompanied minors, UACs, and family units, FMAUs, with dignity and respect, according to a federal procurement document dated May 13th. The private company will be hired to transport approximately 60,000 people a year. It will work to arrange commercial flights and ground transportation for migrant children up to the age of 17, as well as adults with children, and provide food, clothing, and hygiene products during transit. Sometimes the contractor will have to plan commercial or charter flights in a period of less than 24 hours, the document states, highlighting an increased need for on-demand escort services. As the Trump administration addresses a large influx of migrants from Central America who come to the U.S.-Mexico border to claim asylum, President Trump announces that to transform America's immigration system on Thursday, introducing a system to favor admissions based on job skill rather than family ties. The proposal would judge immigrants with a points-based system that would favor highly skilled workers, accounting for age, English proficiency, education, and whether the applicant has a well-paying job offer. Over the course of a 5-year contract, the migrants will be relocated from their points of entry or staging locals to Office of Refugee Resettlement Shelters or family residential centers across the nation. The document did not specify where exactly the migrants will be moved, but said the Office of Refugee Resettlement has the sole authority to place unaccompanied minors and families. ICE has zero tolerance for any forms of sexual abuse and assault, the documents state, while delegating the responsibility to vet new hires for the contracting company business publication Courts, which originally obtained the copy of federal document reported. Thank you, it's been a struggle, but it's been working out. Oh, okay. Just responding to Blood Toker. Just build a trebuchet at the border. I'm sure they'll get the message. This sounds like a great job. Oh, God. No! There will be much unnecessary deaths. Much deaths. I'm going to jump back over to this site. Top news. Alright, guys. Prepare. Robert Pattinson is the front runner to portray Batman in Warner Brothers' upcoming solo film based on the Caped Crusader, according to reports. Pattinson, most famous for his role as Edward Cullen in Twilight series, is in negotiations to take on the Batman role, which was last held by Ben Affleck, Variety said. The publication, citing sources, said that Pattinson is in the studio's top choice and that a deal will be closed shortly. The Hollywood Reporter, meanwhile, has stated that it is unclear if an offer is on the table for Pattinson, who is on a short list of actors including Nicholas Hoult, Armie Hammer, oh my god, that fucking name, and Aaron Taylor Johnson. Deadline citing sources report that Warner Brothers has yet to decide who will don the cape and cowl, with the studio liking both Pattinson and Hallett, with Pattinson holding the edge. The next Batman film, titled The Batman, is set to arrive in theaters on June 25th. Leave my birthday alone! June 21st, 2021. Matt Reeves, who helmed Dawn of the Planet of the Apes and its sequel, War for the Planet of the Apes, is directing. The filmmaker previously said the Batman will be noir driven. Affleck previously starred as the iconic superhero in 2016's Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice, briefly in 2016's Suicide Squad, and in 2017's Justice League. Reeves signed on the project after Affleck stepped down from the director chair in January of 2017. Affleck then exited the role this past January. Pattinson has been featured in several independent films after appearing in Twilight. His next big role will be in director Christopher Nolan's new untitled project that is set to arrive in theaters July 17th, 2020. Alt-centrist said, you know what would make Batman better? If he was a glittery twink. So this is going to be a gay Batman now? Give it to Armie Hammer? Cedric Diggory's son, obsessed with avenging his father's death, as becomes the new magic-wielding Batman for the new generation. Armie Hammer sounds like a gay porn star. I'm sorry, that is a great name. Who plays Batman doesn't matter. The writer is the only thing that matters. The writing is the only thing that matters. I think we should just bring back Michael Keaton. He made a good Batman. Just get Fid of the fucking backstory in every movie. I think you meant Rid. Yeesh. Yeah, my whole thing is like I don't know if he's Oh, he looked like he was in pain throughout the entire, like, every time you see a clip from the Twilight movies, he just looks like he's in pain. I'm gonna get away from the entertainment news. It confuses me. Let's do U.S. news. See what's going on. Yeah, I got 15 minutes. Oh, snap, it's hype break. Excuse me, I suddenly need to hug my... Oh. I put a story for you in the Discord vamp. Oh, okay, let me go look. No. Nope. Have you ever watched Supernatural at all? Yes. Way too much of it. I thought he looked constipated. I would too. It's fucking Twilight. God damn it, Jeffers. He didn't care about Twilight. It was just a paycheck for him. Lol, 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 lol. Fuck you. Back to Drudge. Are there any more, like, weird Vice things? Who fucking called me? Fuck you. Fuck you, 1-800 number. Huh. Well, let me check out Vice. I mean, this... Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna look into the category of identity. That's race. Okay. Let me hit see all on this one and see all on this one. Maybe I'll find something that'll infuriate the fuck out of me right before the other show. Let's see, Supernatural went downhill after season 5, in my opinion. SPN kick-ass. Hello, Brett. Yes, Drudge Report is still a thing. Vamp afraid to tackle the real issues. No. You want to read about women drinking semen, you do it on your own time. How microdosing testosterone changed my life. Okay. Who is this author? Eliza Enriquez. How microdosing testosterone changed my life. I knew I was non-binary when I was afraid to tell my doctor I didn't want to fully transition from female to male. I thought finding an in-between wasn't allowed. Oh, God. Mm. The last time I took testosterone was about a year ago. My dosage was 20 milligrams every 2 weeks, far lower than the typical dosage for someone looking to fully transition from female to male, which is anywhere from 50 to 100 milligrams every week. I'm non-binary, and I'm not interested in presenting to the world as a man based on whatever antiquated physical criteria that might invite that assumption. When I took the small amount of tea that I did, the resulting physical changes were subtle. Over the course of months, my body fat redistributed, my shoulders broadened, my face changed from soft to harder as my jawline squared off. The starkest change was feeling much more at home within my body. Isn't microdosing hormones extremely dangerous? Like, I could have sworn that that's actually really dangerous. Um, I refer to my treatment plan as microdosing hormones. I don't know what other people call it because there are relatively few public accounts of other non-binary folks who have used hormones in this way. I've only seen similar accounts discussed on Instagram, obscure blogs, and the occasional Reddit r/non-binary. Um, non-binary thread. The dart the dearth of information around microdosing is one of the many reasons I struggled to find exactly what I needed. Long before I had the language for non-binary, let alone microdosing, I was instinctively trying to figure out what felt most me. My first experience with gender nonconformity happened at the beach when I was 4 years old or so. My dad said I could choose my own swimsuit, so I picked a pair of fire engine red board shorts. I was assigned female at birth, but my dad didn't care about whether my clothes were in line with what girls were supposed to wear. He could tell me the shorts made me happy, although he didn't know it was because another kid had called me a boy one of the first times I wore them. With the water smacking against my chest, I felt free. I had no sense that my swimsuit might be considered abnormal until my mom taught me otherwise. To her, the shorts made me look like a niño, or a boy, and she didn't want the abuelas shooting looks at the young boy with his ears pierced. Until then, I had been unaware of my gender or what it meant to other people. Um, like I said, I'm pretty sure microdosing hormones is dangerous. My understanding of being a mixture of a boy or a girl only grew from there. In middle school, I made up a masculine middle name. My original was Marie, but I said it was Michael. And when I introduced myself to other students, I always made sure to include it. Usually my classmates were confused, which I secretly loved. When my Spanish teacher assigned nicknames, I asked for one without an A or an O at the end. After years of these kinds of tweaks to my presentation and self-representation, I came out to my mom as trans when I was a junior in high school. This was the second time I had come out. The first when I told my mom I was gay after she caught me cuddling my first girlfriend on my bed. I felt the same pang of anxiety as I did that first time. I had the overwhelming urge to skip the conversation altogether. Instead, I blurted out the words, "I'm trans," and my mother's face was overcome with shock as I sobbed. I tried to explain how, when I imagined my ideal self, I was masculine and handsome. I am aware, Ian. Non-binary, masculine name. Uh, I tried to explain how, when I imagined my ideal self, I was masculine and handsome. What I had seen of transness at the time was still based on being either boy or girl, and embracing that felt like the only way to become legible to those around me, although I felt subconsciously that neither was right. My mom and I went to therapy together to unpack my desire to be a boy. I was terrified of the full medical transition, looking at images of trans men as both comforting and not. A haze of uncertainty. I spent my therapy sessions describing this haze while maintaining a cool exterior to show that I wasn't upset by questions that locked me into male and female. Do you want to be a husband someday versus a wife? My therapist asked. I just wish there were other words for that role, as it was the only answer I had. There is! It's called spouse. I didn't find a more fitting one until 4 years later when I was 21. I spent the first 3 months of 2014 feverishly reading a blog by someone named Micah, who called themselves non-binary. It was the first time I'd heard that word. The author detailed their transition, which involved microdosing hormones. Reading about this ebb and flow of low dosage testosterone over the course of years led me to discover what I'd known all along. I was gender non-conforming, something I was only able to see when I learned testosterone could be a tool for embodying that. Okay, yeah, I gotta. Yeah, that's what I thought. This is not for hormones, that's for LSD. I need. This is all talking about. Because, in women, testosterone can actually cause some serious issues if you have too much in your body. Um, I took a group photo with my supportive roommates the morning of my first doctor's appointment, having told only them about my plan to undergo this newfound transition. I was too afraid to tell my parents because I knew the word testosterone would come with a flurry of questions drawing trace outlines of a new masculine figure that I did not intend to become. I made my way to my appointment, excited but unsure of what to expect. After I thought non-binary had settled into my self-understanding, I assumed that forging my own gender experiment was somehow not allowed, so I kept it quiet. As I spoke to my doctor, I was surprised how quickly my tongue formed the word man and sputtered out lies about wanting to become one. At the end of the appointment, another surprise, I'd be able to go right downstairs, pick up testosterone, and learn how to inject it that day. While I expected this to give me joy, it stripped me of it. I was assigned a dosage according to my lie. I made the excuse that I would need a friend to inject me, and left the clinic without testosterone, feeling defeated and doubtful. My experience is not as common as I thought at the time. In 2014 study by the LGBT Health Education Center found that more than 40% of the medical health professionals surveyed were unfamiliar with how to discuss and treat issues of gender identity. However, that's not always the case. I spoke to Zill Goldstein, the Associate Director of Medicine at Callan Lord, a New York clinic that offers care for LGBTQIA plus individuals, who told me prescribing low doses of testosterone has been talked about for a lot longer than people realize. This is the way I see all transgender care for people who have non-binary or binary gender identity. The person getting the care is the captain of the ship. I'm the navigator. That's how we take care of everyone. Though gender identity focuses, clinics like Callan Lord may have a longer history of this treatment for non-binary people. Goldstein has a point. Prescribing lower dosage of testosterone is not unheard of in the wider medical field. According to World Professor Association for Transgender Health Standards for Care Guide, some people seek maximum feminization and emasculation, while others experience relief with an androgynous presentation resulting from hormone minimization of existing secondary sex characteristics. Hormone therapy must be individualized based on a patient's goals, the risk-benefit ratio of medications, the presence of other medical conditions, the consideration of social and economic issues. Most portrayals of transness, though, are based in the binary, like Laverne Cox on the cover of Time, or Laith Ashley being a pit member of the RuPaul's Drag Race. The acceptance these platforms offer is the ground on simplified, cis, heteronormative understanding of transness. For non-binary people, that can serve as a reinforcement that popular narratives about transness and otherwise cis contexts are premised on how far along these individuals is as their complete medical transition. Microdosing rejects that notion because it is the process that is without a hard and fast end. Okay. Cool. That means when I'm done here, I can be done. My uneasiness and fear about telling the doctor how I really felt lessened when I returned to Micah's blog and decided I wanted to try again, this time with more candor. When I returned to Calden Lord and successfully acquired a script that met my needs, I was forthright about what I wanted. I explained to my primary care doctor that I was non-binary and wanted to change to be slow, even glacial, if I had the choice. We had an open conversation that left me with a warm feeling in my stomach I hadn't kept a secret. In a world where non-binary people feel like they're not only reflected but have access to stories of others who have found their own ways to transition, I don't think microdosing would be as uncommon. I am most excited for the future that I see in the images I scroll past in my feed late at night. I need affirmation most. When I need affirmation most, the people in them, my peers and people with more visibility like Alok, Aaron Phillip, Shamir, and Chella Man, are, like me, forging new paths. They have bodies I see my own in. Non-white, soft around the edges, sprouting facial hair, both pretty, handsome, and more. They show me that being non-binary is amorphous. It comes without a prescribed way of being, free of expectations. I use testosterone to access this freedom, slowly inching my way to a soft, forgiving space where I can be gentle, hard, bold, and understanding myself. Yeah, anyway. Hold on. Testosterone in women. Oh, okay. So, alright. This is what I was thinking of. When you put more testosterone in as a woman, when we put more testosterone in our body than what's produced naturally, because we do, in fact, produce testosterone, it can lead to, polycystic ovarian symptoms. You can develop cysts on your ovaries. Which can lead to infertility. So if you ever decide, I want to have kids, yeah, for the most part, I just think it's like, yeah, it's your body, whatever, but at the same time, I don't know, I don't exactly appreciate it being shoved down my throat either. It's just one of those things. It's one of those fucking things. Let's see here. Incest testosterone makes in women causes PCOS. Exactly. That makes sense. I know some manly women with that. It's also really painful. Yeah, it cysts on your ovaries. It also enlarges the clit, but ain't nobody got time for that. Oh. Alright. If they want to ruin their lives, let them. I mean, it's also kind of my standpoint. But I have gone past the 2-hour mark. I believe the other stream should be starting within the next 30 minutes to an hour-ish. But other than, the lawnmower, the weed eater, the ranting about abortion, again, Ian sending me the Snapchat article that broke my fucking brain. Thanks, Ian. Thanks for the stream, best morning stream. But it's going to be a busy day today. We got the Kumite coming on later today. We have the Pro South stream coming on later tonight at 8:30 Eastern. Obviously PM. We watch Tonka and his indie promotion wrestle. But yeah. I guess as of today, I'm just going to wrap it up over here. Make sure to follow my Twitch and just hit the follow button. You should get a notification if it's installed, like your phone or email or whatever. But I would like to thank everyone for showing up this morning, everyone who watches now, everyone who watches later. Thank you, everyone who donated, everyone who subscribed, have at all that fun stuff. I appreciate all of you. And I hope everyone has a great rest of your Friday.